You want to know what happened here almost 50 years ago, and what is happening here today? My son was also curious. He didn't want to listen to me. He found a strange piece of metal in the woods, and he asked questions. The wrong questions to the wrong people. I never saw him again.
There are things that we are just not meant for. If we don't realize this...
Old man, your words may be very wise, but my father is in danger and I need your help.
I know. I can see it in your eyes. You really are just like your father. I also warned him, but he didn't want to listen to me either. He entered the cursed realm of the Ugdi, the evil thunderbirds that have been sent to cause endless sickness since the year of the great catastrophe. Your father ignored my warning, and his companion must have paid dearly for it. I know that I cannot stop you, so I will tell you where your father had his camp back then.
Follow the northern path until you reach the swamps, and you will find what you are looking for. But always remember my words. Be careful in everything you do. Things happen here that no one can even begin to imagine.
The Evank was right. The atmosphere here is real strange. So unreal.
Even if perhaps a good portion of superstition is involved, I have a strange feeling here. And then the story with the thunderbirds and the endless sickness. Pull yourself together, Nina. You're just exhausted. There are no thunderbirds, and any phenomenon, no matter how mysterious, can be explained rationally.
Hopefully. That must be the site that the old man spoke of. My father started his expeditions from here. Maybe I'll find an explanation here of how the events of the past link with the kidnapping of my father. An 8mm film projector. Considering its age and the fact that it's not professionally handled here, it is not in bad condition.
It won't work without electricity. Are shards always broken, or are there whole shards? An interesting question. I'll have to ask my former philosophy professor. An old rag. There is nothing special to see, but then again, it is pitch black in there. A small bit of tinfoil. The small windows are absolutely filthy. A generator, supplying the hut with power. There is obviously no more fuel in it. That would have been too good. A bit of petroleum still seems to be in there. A bit of It looks like a garden hose. Time has been gnawing away at it, but there don't seem to be any large cracks or holes in it.
Wow, what a monster! I have to ask, even if I'm talking to myself, how did that thing get here? There still seems to be a bit of diesel oil in there. This has been plundered. Everything that can be taken off and carried is gone. There are only 2 small nuts here, and I am having them. There's still plenty of vodka in there. If I want the one spirit, I think I will have to get rid of the other. Nastarovia! Oops, I think I'm a bit out of practice. That must be the research station that the transit train was supposed to be going to. Has it even arrived there at all? The research station is certainly impressive. It even has its own runway, and probably just as impressively secured. I can forget getting in there. I'm not even sure that I want to go in anyway. After all, I have heard and read about this station and the place it was built on. Anyway, the station does radiate a certain fascination. Not a positive one. And the longer I look, the more I get the shivers. I'd better make my way back. There's a lot to do, and I still don't know what secret out of Daddy's past is concealed here. The river drops about 30 meters here. It's a very impressive sight. That's what I call quality craftsmanship. Over 50 years old, and it still works like it did when it came out of the factory. If I remember correctly, then that thing has something to do with magnetism and producing electricity. I'll hold both nuts close to the coils, but not too close, otherwise I'll be toast. As a result, they seem to have become magnetized. The rag is soaked through. As an obedient little housewife, of course I know what my duties are. There, finished. Shall I make dinner now as well? It is light enough here, and I don't want to waste any petroleum. Who knows if I'll need it again? I'll light the lamp. I can't see or find anything special. I would never have dreamed that one day I would clean out a chimney from the inside. Now that the suit is off, I can see numbers written on it. 7.5, 3, 10.5, 6. I've wrapped the tinfoil around the broken glass. Because of the tin foil, the shard is no longer transparent. That's strange. Obviously, the compass needle only moves when I press the button. I seem to have triggered a mechanism, but nothing has happened yet. A secret compartment! There are a few old documents and a roll of film in there. I'll have a look at the documents. Maybe my father left them there. Yes, indeed. He describes that the 1958 expedition apparently could not provide an explanation why the plant growth has changed so much here since the catastrophe of 1908. The discovery of a meteorite, hoped for by the government as a cause of the devastating explosion, also did not materialize. For this reason, neither my father in his function as the leader of the expedition, nor the biologist, Ken Morangi, could provide an unambiguous conclusion, which obviously was not regarded favorably by the authorities. Oh, and they are also briefly mentioning Oleg here, but apparently he was not that important. I guess I'd better not tell him that. Years later, in his function as a geologist, at the Academy of Sciences in Moscow, my father examined a strange piece of metal that had been found in the Tunguska region. He then was able to prove its non-terrestrial origins, which breathed new life into the meteorite theory. However, upon further analysis, he and his colleague Manuel Perez discovered traces that indicated that the metal had been worked. When they wanted to publish their discovery in the Kalenkov Expert, it was completely, surprisingly, rejected, and they were forbidden any further examination of the rock. When my father continued to inquire about the happenings in the Tunguska region, he was dismissed from the Academy of Sciences. The last entries are from 1977. Obviously, he and Manuel Perez went to the Tunguska region on their own. They hoped to find additional fragments of that strange material so they could continue their studies. What the goal was and what happened isn't written down in here. In addition, I have this burning desire to know what is going on with this fragment. On the one hand, it's probably not of terrestrial origin, but on the other hand, it was processed. That would mean the old Evenk also said something about his son finding some metal fragment in the woods and then suddenly disappearing. That would fit in with the fact that my father was even thrown out of the Academy of Sciences due to his analysis. I hope that I will find some more answers on that roll of film. An old film reel. There must be something exciting on it because such an extravagant hiding place was chosen for it.